Hi, folks. Welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Well, I hope you Bitcoiners are doing okay, because Bitcoin's not doing okay. Most cryptocurrencies are not doing okay. Since Friday, about $325 billion has been lost in the cryptocurrency market, and it so far today doesn't look any better. So it may get a lot worse. There's a lot of speculation of what's going on. I mean, it's interesting because the Trump administration has been very positive about cryptocurrencies, but yeah, they're not doing very good. The market itself is not doing as bad, but there are many people that are saying that there are signs that it's about ready to take a major fall also. But this has been talked about for a while. If you follow these things, a lot of people were saying that by March, markets may start taking a nosedive. And so far, it looks like that just may be true. There's a lot of other stuff going on that I really wanted to get into. And it's possible that we're starting to see the pushback that we've been talking about. Maybe more of a deep state pushback so far. With all of the terminations and the restructuring and just flat out kicking people out of their offices and stuff that's going on, there seems to be quite a bit of pushback in the intelligence community. Now, we've been seeing all along different people in, Department of Ag and housing and other areas at first say that they weren't going to leave their office, but now we're seeing actually very much sabotage and possibly even treason happening within the intelligence community. It's being reported that CIA agents, high level CIA agents, are stating that they are not going to leave their jobs, and there's a lot of whispers and rumors that they're going to try to do everything they can, even if it's on their way out, to try to sabotage things that are going on. There's been reports of generals in the Pentagon destroying files, destroying servers, shredding items. There's been reports, and now understand these reports aren't really confirmed, but there are a few credible sources online that I've seen talking about this. And they're saying that that there's been FBI raids on CIA agents, on Pentagon officers that are trying to destroy evidence. Probably the big thing out of this that's being talked about is the Epstein files, the JFK files, the 9/11 files, all that kind of stuff. Because we're over a month into this administration, and we have not seen those. And we were promised that we would see those, right? In fact, it was a couple of weeks ago, I believe her name is Representative Luna, had formed a special committee, a special investigation team to get these files released. And then about a week ago, the new Attorney General, Pam Bondi, stated that those files were on her desk. And yet we still haven't seen them yet. And it's interesting that yesterday, amongst all this talk of different intelligence agents destroying things and doing things, that again, rumors, I mean, this is insider, whistleblower type stuff, but they're saying that there's indication and evidence that a lot of these files that are being destroyed are the Epstein files, are different types of files and investigation notes related to the Epstein case that are being destroyed. So the question is, who's actually doing that? I mean, have you really thought all along that the Epstein files are going to be released? Honestly, I figured that even if they were released, they were going to be heavily redacted. And now, well, it's possible that some of these files are being destroyed, or at least they say they're being destroyed. So I guess the question is are we actually ever going to see them? And, are we going to see the real stuff? I think probably not. I wouldn't hold your breath, and then when they are released, who knows if they're going to be the real ones. It'll probably be a lot of low-level nobodies that might get released, their names released. But I would say most of the high-level people that could be on that list probably are not going to be released. In fact, there's evidence that people within the Trump administration are on that list too. So that kind of stuff is going on, and I'm going to make an assumption here, and I know that's a dangerous thing to do. This is just my opinion. But if it's being talked about that these types of things are going on, I'm going to guess that it's probably actually worse than what we're hearing. And it makes me wonder, is there really a sort of soft civil war that is going on right now when it comes to Washington, the government, deep state, all that kind of stuff? I know a lot of you think probably yes, and have thought all along that's the case. But just the talk that's come across, and people with like some level of credibility saying that they have sources that are saying these things are going on. Like I said, I got to believe that there's probably more stuff happening. And when you start to really take in the full scope of everything, it makes you wonder what really is happening. I mean, and I don't want to sound like a lefty here. But I've seen people on the left talk about Donald Trump's administration and what he's doing as the president as being a coup. I know that sounds silly, but a coup against the government, not necessarily his administration. And I don't necessarily agree with that. But there's some arguments to be made that things are being ripped apart in Washington, and even if you agree with these things, even if you, I think most of you think that this is good stuff, along with myself, okay? We're taking an establishment that's been around for a long, long time, and it's being ripped apart. And so like I've said all along, the level of disaster that this could create could be quite extensive. And how much of it is going to be felt by us remains to be seen. And so as this continues to go on, as this kind of war, this soft civil war, at least within the government, I think you need to kind of get yourself ready, because we don't know to what extent someone that is pretty much hell-bent on destroying things will go to. And I mean, we're talking intelligence communities and people that have been known to do pretty outlandish things and be able to blame it on other people. I think there's no limit to what they probably could do. And if it's getting to the point that the talk of open treason and destroying files is going on, then I'd say we're getting pretty close to maybe other types of action. So I would be prepared for that. Just add that to your list of things that you're preparing for. This stuff with Ukraine and Europe and Russia and the United States is starting to get really strange. I mean, if you start to kind of read between the lines of the talk that's going on, it almost sounds like the United States is shifting sides very rapidly, and almost to the point that there could be future conflict between Russia and the United States versus Europe, which is something that's never, ever happened before. And I'm not 100% sure that that's a good thing, that we should align ourselves in that way. I mean, it's very strange. And so there's a lot of, because here's the thing, even if Donald Trump truly does not want a war, it doesn't mean that other people don't want a war. Europe is not going to go down without a fight. Now, I understand that all of Europe together could not, even partially compare to the military might of the United States and possibly even Russia, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to just, that they're not gonna put up some level of fight. There's some very strange goings on there, where it does in a lot of ways look like major alliances that's been around for decades, over a century, are being destroyed, or at least being put aside for new alliances with what has been kind of an enemy of the state for a long time. So when you look at that kind of stuff, when you look at the stuff that's going inside of Washington right now, I understand that a lot of these things that the president and his team and Elon Musk are doing looks good, maybe are good. Like I've said all along, we have to understand that this level of destruction could have some major consequences, at least in the immediate. And you need to be preparing yourself. I personally don't, I'm not expecting to see the Epstein files, but the level of just craziness that could happen here domestically, overseas, we're getting into areas that this nation has never been before. I don't know that anyone really anticipated this level of stuff happening. And so it's getting to where it's hard to predict. And when it's that unstable, we just don't know what could happen next. And, whether it's economic problems, whether it's disease, whether it's a terrorist attack, whether it's just, civil unrest, these things all could happen. And we need to be getting prepared for it. Don't back down. Don't slack off. Just keep getting yourselves ready. Take all the time that we have to try to push yourself to stock up more, to develop your preps, your self-sufficiency, your skills, all of that, because it's looking really weird. And it doesn't necessarily mean things will happen, but the weirder it gets and the more just chaotic it gets, I think the greater chances of something happening are going to be. So keep getting yourselves ready, keep getting prepared, and I would not be holding your breath for those Epstein files. Folks, it's time to get your houses in order and prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.